Hello guys, welcome to Maths with a Somnofo. In this video, we are going to do the introduction to differentiation. What is differentiation? Differentiation can be seen as the rate of change of a parameter or variable with respect to another parameter or variable. For instance, I'm given a variable y expressed as a function of x, that the rate of change of y with respect to x can be written as the dy dx, and it is equal to f prime of x. Let's say we have another parameter, say m, and it's also a function of t. The rate of change of m with respect to t is written as dm dt, which is also the f prime of t. F prime of t means the differentiation or the derivative with respect to t. Okay, we have several methods of solving differentiation problems. It ranges from, the first one is called the general method. The first method is called the general method. The second method we use is called the first principle method. The next one is called the chain rule. Chain rule, or we call it function of a function, or functions of several functions. The next one is called the product rule. Product rule. The next one is called, number 5 is called the quotient rule. Quotient rule. And the last but not the least is called the implicit differentiation. Okay, these are the basic 6 methods of doing differentiation problem. We have the general method, the first principle method, the chain rule, the product rule, the quotient rule, and the implicit differentiation. In this class, we'll be learning how to solve differentiation problems using the general method. We'll be looking at the general method of solving differentiation problems. Okay, let's say we have a variable y, which is a function of x, for instance, and this function is defined to be x to a power, let's say a power of n, or we call this x the base, and we call this the power or the exponent. Then for you to differentiate y with respect to x, that is dy dx. Now, it's just differentiating the function with respect to x. So all you have to do is just to multiply the power. The power here is n to what? The function x to the power of n, then minus 1 from the power. Okay, let's say we have a function y, which is equal to, let's say, x to the power of 5, for instance. And we are told to differentiate, find the dy dx of the what? Function. For us to differentiate this function with respect to x, all we have to do is to use this method in a simpler form. You have it n times x is nx, then n minus 1. So for us to differentiate the function, the base is always the x and the power is 5. So all we have to do is just to multiply the power, which is 5, to the what? Variable, and minus 1 from the power. So here we have that dy dx of this function is equal to 5x is 5 times the x is the variable, then 5 minus 1. So 5 times x is what? 5x. Then 5 minus 1 is 4. So the differentiation or the dy dx of this given function, 5 to the 5th power, is what? 5x to the power of 4. Let's say we are given y to be a function of x, for instance, and it is equal to 6x to the 7th power plus 5x to the 5th power minus 2x squared, for instance. And we are required to find the dy dx. To find the dy dx means to differentiate the function y with respect to x. So to differentiate the function y with respect to x, we make use of the general differentiation formula, that whenever we are told to differentiate a function, we multiply the power of the function to the variable and minus 1 on the power. So here we are given y to be f of x, and f of x is equals to 6x to the 7th power plus 5x to the 5th power minus 2x squared. So to do the dy dx, differentiating y with respect to x, let's find the little change. So you can see that we multiply the power to the variable. We have it to be 7 times 6x. We minus 1 from the power, 7 minus 1. The next one is plus. Then you multiply 5 times 5x, then 5 minus 1. Then the next one, keep the minus 2. You have minus 2, minus to the power times 2x, 2 minus 1. Let's conclude it here. So you can now see that dy dx of this given function is 6 times 7 is 42. You have it as 42x to the power of 7 minus 1 is 7. You have it 7 minus 1 is 6. Then plus 5 times 5 is 25 plus 25 x to the power of 4, because 5 minus 1 is 4. Then minus 2 times 2 is 4. You have it as 4 x to the power of 2 minus 1 is 1. So if you write 1, it's just the same thing as this. So the complete differentiation of this function is given as what? 2 is given as 42x power 6 plus 25x power 4 minus 4x. And this is the complete derivative of this given function. Okay? Stay tuned to the next method of solving this particular differentiation problem. Bye.